Once synonymous with migration and missed opportunities, Bihar is quietly reinventing itself. Factories are rising where fields once stood still, highways now thread through its heartland, and investment is finally flowing in. This isn't just a story of growth, but the long-awaited rebirth of a state that time forgot. For decades, Bihar lagged behind. In 2023-24, its per capita GSDP stood at just 66,828 rupees, barely a third of the national average. Only 5.7% of its workforce was in manufacturing, one of the lowest in India. Generations of Biharis left home for Surat, Ludhiana or Noida, chasing livelihoods their homeland couldn't offer. But that story is changing. And the shift is being driven by policy, persistence, and people. Between 2016 and 2020, Bihar approved around 1,200 factories with investments worth 16,800 crore rupees. Post-pandemic, the state recalibrated, pushing rural industrialization, rewriting policies, and organizing investor summits. Since 2020, the number of approved factories has jumped to 2,154, with investments exceeding 90,000 crore rupees, a 434% rise. Exports have nearly doubled. Jobs in new industrial units have grown from just over 6,000 in 2020 to more than 35,000 in 2025. And in July 2025, the 3,300 megawatt NTPC BIHAR power project went fully operational, a major signal that Bihar now has the backbone industries need. One symbol of this revival sits near Patna, the Sikandarpur industrial area. 300 acres, now almost fully allotted, dotted with plug-and-play factories. Big names are moving in. Zara, Van Heusen, Britannia, Subisco, Decathlon, and HCL, which recently opened a global delivery center in Patna. And perhaps the most powerful sign of progress: women. In 2017, only 4% of Bihar's women were part of the workforce. Today, that number is over 30%. In Muzaffarpur's booming bag cluster alone, nearly 1 lakh women now work within a 10-kilometer radius. These aren't just numbers, they are stories of migration reversed and dignity restored. Bihar's industrial surge rests on two strong pillars: bold state reforms and the centre's infrastructure push. Over the past few years, the state has built one of India's densest road networks, over 3,100 km per 1,000 square kilometer, linking corridors like Raxaul-Haldia, Gorakhpur-Siliguri, and Patna-Purnia. Travel times have nearly halved, cutting logistics costs and giving industries the speed they need. Power availability, once Bihar's biggest handicap, has turned into a strength. Peak demand has grown from 700 megawatts in 2005 to 8,700 megawatts today. And with the Bar and Buxar thermal plants operational, industrial power reliability is at record levels. Policy shift. The Bihar Industrial Investment Promotion Package 2025 marks a turning point. It replaces the 2016 framework that focused on MSMEs and clusters with a sharper, time-bound approach to attract large and mega investments by March 2026. For the first time, land is no longer a barrier. Invest 100 crore and create 1,000 jobs, and the state gives you 10 acres free. Invest 1,000 crore, get 25 acres. Even Fortune 500 companies are covered, and the incentives? Bigger than ever. Companies can choose between 100% SGST refund up to 300% of project cost, 30% capital subsidy, or interest support up to 40 crore rupees. There are export bonuses, job-linked incentives up to 5,000 rupees per employee, and special benefits for backward districts. The state has also expanded BIADA's land bank from 7,000 to 27,000 acres, revived dormant units, and launched new sectoral policies, from textile and leather to ethanol, where 13 plants are already operational. But Bihar's rise isn't happening in isolation. The central government's infrastructure drive has powered much of the momentum. Projects worth over 30,000 crore rupees in highways, bridges and freight corridors are transforming Bihar into a logistics hub. Under PM Gati Shakti and Udan, smaller towns like Saharsa and Madhubani are now being connected by air. At Bihar Business Connect 2024, MOUs worth 1.8 lakh crore rupees were signed, much of it backed by central initiatives in clean energy, cement and food processing. Skill development too is being re-engineered. The Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur Skill University, upgraded ITIs and interest-free student loans are preparing a skilled workforce for Bihar's new factories. Together, these efforts are turning Bihar from landlocked to land-linked, finally plugged into India's national growth grid. Challenges remain: perception, law and order, and policy continuity beyond election cycles. But make no mistake, this resurgence seems to be real. Bihar's industrial desert is finally blooming. Its untapped labor, strategic location, and deep resilience are converging into a new growth story. Policies are aligning, infrastructure is arriving, the people are stepping forward. And big names from Adani and Britannia to Zara and HCL are investing not out of charity, but because Bihar now makes business sense. From out-migration to opportunity, from neglect to ambition, Bihar stands at the threshold of its second industrial age. If it sustains this momentum, history will remember this as the moment the forgotten giant awoke. If you found this video insightful, do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, this is Richa Dwivedi signing off. Dhanyavad and Namaste.